What's up, everybody? It's Colby Cheese, and I'm bringing you guys back another one of my personal League of Legends commentaries over one of the champions that I'm really good at, which today is going to be Jayce. I've been playing Jayce a ton since he's been released, and I think he's one of the most fun champions out right now. I've kind of learned the ins and outs of this guy, and I feel like I can bring you guys a lot of knowledge on how to play him very well and actually have a lot of success on him like I've had. I've just recently started playing a lot of ranked again, and I've been raising my elo a lot. I lost a lot because I was just goofing around in the past, and I wasn't really being all that serious. But right now I'm in about, I think, 1650 or something like that elo at the time of recording this video. So not like super high platinum or whatever, but I am on the way up, and I think that Jayce is one of those champions that will be able to get me there. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this video. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright, so jumping right in here, I'm going to speed it up a bit, but we do have a really strong ganking team, so always start with the boots and 3 health potions on Jayce. As far as his masteries, I build him just like any other AD carry. I do 15 attack damage, 13 armor, and then magic resist per level for my blues. And on masteries, it's just the 21, and then I think 21-9 is what I do. I don't get the support masteries or anything like that, so that way I can actually have the extra defenses in the top lane. So anyways, this is going to be all top lane Jayce action. You can definitely play Jayce in the bot lane and it can work, but I feel like Jayce is best suited for the top lane because he just doesn't lose his lane at all. In this particular case, the Viger actually saw us coming in here, so it wasn't the best gank. We needed everyone to be grouped up. If he had waited to go in until everyone else was there, this would have been a sure, easy first blood, but he had an easy time jumping out of there, no problem. So just in the future reference, if you're gonna run in like that, you need to wait for everyone else, especially the other people who have those stuns, if you want to get those kills, because in that particular case, Viger was just chilling right here. He saw us all coming and he was able to get out, and even then we still caught up to him and got the stun on him. That's the cool thing, but since everyone else was too far behind, they weren't able to get there. So if we go stand like right here and wait, and then everyone's grouped, and then we all go at the same exact time, then we would have a much higher chance of success. But anyways, let's go ahead and speed up a little bit, and let me actually set this to follow myself here. So that's just gonna follow me. Okay, so let's speed up just a bit, and boop, boop. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and help out the jungler. I'm just gonna give him a quick little leash, not gonna spend a ton of time on that one there. And we're gonna head up to the lane. So as far as laning phase is concerned, I try and do as much poke as I can. I actually screwed up a whole lot early on and missed a few last hits, and that's definitely not what you want to do. And the reason I was doing that is because I was trying to do a little bit of poking onto Irelia, and it's usually pretty easy to poke on the melees right away, but whenever you are giving up CS to do that, it's not exactly worth it. And so one thing to definitely make sure and be careful about is what their enemy jungler is. In this particular case, I know that they have an Evelyn, and it's a good chance that she could have started red and came and ganked the top lane first. One thing that you can do to kind of have an idea of whether or not they're going to be ganking is judging based on your enemy's actions. Are your opponents being a little bit over aggressive, or does it look like they're going to start running at you randomly? In which case, you know, in the laning phase they weren't doing that before, and that's kind of where you can kind of know if someone's going to be ganking you pretty soon in the early game. It is kind of hard to tell, and it's going to take a little bit of practice to be able to learn that skill. But once you kind of get an idea of when someone's ganking you, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to escape those. And a lot of times you want to save some of your escapes for the time when you do actually get ganked and that sort of thing. So anyways, right now I'm just kind of doing my best to poke down Irelia when I can. I took a little bit of return poke from her. We pretty much came out even on that exchange. Irelia does have a little bit more sustain as she gets higher level, but early on you can put a lot of pressure on her, and that's the best time to put pressure on Irelia is early game, before she grabs items and before she gets strong. Now I saw Jin Zhao coming in, and actually let me back it up so I can slow it down a little bit, and so you can kind of see what I did. So I saw Jin Zhao coming in, and I knew that if I engaged Irelia right now with my HP pool, that she could possibly kill me, and so I figured that she would know the same thing. So what I decided to do was I decided to actually go ahead and bait that out. So I baited her into attacking me, and then I pop in my slow. Now what I tried to do was flash and knock her backwards outside of the turret, Luckily for her, she actually flashed. She did her own little flash, and she got in the position where I punched her towards the turret. Luckily, Jin Zhao was able to turret dive a little bit and get the kill. I did want the kill, but in any case, it worked out for the best. So let me go ahead and speed that sucker back up. And since I went ahead and grabbed that kill, I don't know where Evelyn's at. In fact, looks like Evelyn was coming up to try and kill me here, but I did make it out in time. So you always want to grab 2 door ends, blades is your first starting items, and then build into Berserker Greaves as soon as possible. I actually picked up a Vision Ward to try and help out a little bit against these Evelyn ganks. Now, it's really hard to ward against Evelyn because, well, you can put a ward right here, but she can still just come right around and be invisible to you. So, I mean, I guess I can put one in the lane right here, but really it's very difficult to lane against her. This is the best I can do. I did see her coming around right there, and luckily I was able to just kind of step back a little bit, and she kind of was like, okay, well, he's got a ward. Can't gank from there, so she knows, all right, I'm going to have to run back around the other way. Anyways, I'm just going to sit here and do my best to poke. What you want to do with Jayce is level up your Q first. In my first impressions video, I said to level up his E because it gives a lot more damage, and that is true, especially if you're building a tank Jayce. But with the build that I do, and in the laning phase, leveling up Q first is overall just stronger because you're going to be using that Q a lot more for poking, and not only that, it allows you to farm creeps very easily. Especially once you hit level 9, you can actually one-shot the back wave minions, and it's just a very safe way to farm minions and not miss out on CS, especially if you're not doing well in your lane. You're not always going to have a situation where you're doing as well as I am in this lane. This Irelia is being a little bit passive. I think that she can be a little bit more aggressive against me if she wanted to, but in this particular case, she went for some gold per 5, and I guess she's not very confident in her strength. And so she's just kind of hanging out and farming as much as she can to try and get to late game. So overall, it's not the hardest lane for me. But let me speed this back up. Looks like, so here comes Evelyn. You notice she's actually walking around, so I have no idea she's here. And this is actually going to be a bad situation for me. And I noticed that I got her down a little bit low, so I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go in and harass her down. I tried to knock away the Evelyn to avoid taking a little bit of damage, but honestly, I should have just done some more damage to the Irelia. Overall, couldn't really avoid that gank. Once I jumped onto Irelia, that was pretty much dead for me. If I had saved my Q, I could have possibly, you know, knocked away Irelia, jumped on Eve, slowed her down and ran away. I don't know. It's hard to say. But either way, I mean, I'm doing pretty good in the lane so far. I'm not really falling behind too heavily on CS or anything like that. But as far as items are concerned, I just picked up my Berserker Greaves. I didn't even pick up, I could have picked up more wards. I had enough money, but I was like, well, screw it. The wards aren't a big deal. I'm just going to try my best to not put myself in a terrible position. And I think my goal right here in this particular game, since they have an Evelyn, is to shove out the lane and go roam around and look for opportunities around the map. Jayce can actually do a pretty good job of shoving out the lane and ganking around. So what I'll do is I'll try and auto attack down the front wave minions, and then I'll use my EQ combo to actually kill the back wave minions for the most part. So in any case, you'll see me kind of do that here as the game progresses on further. Once I hit level 9, it's really easy to do that. I think it actually do it before that. I can't remember, but there you go, boom. So I destroyed those creeps. I have a huge wave there built up, and I'm just going to head towards the middle here. And let's go ahead and watch what's going on. So I see that they had a nice little engage. We've got everyone in the mid lane here, and I noticed that Veigar is about half HP, so I'm going to come around from behind. And it looks like with the creep wave pushing, this is a perfect opportunity for us to get in there. I'm going to try and hit him with my Q. Unfortunately, the minions get in the way, but I did speed myself up enough. We get a stun off, and I do grab a kill. Now, this was kind of bad. The Irelia jumped on top of me. I tried to flash out. I kind of missed my flash and just barely make it out of there alive. In fact, we picked up 2 kills from that, though, so it was really nice. Irelia continued to push up the top lane, and that is pretty smart of her. She obviously can't go in and do anything 1v5 on us. Well, I don't know. She actually could have cleaned up if she came down, but for the most part, though, I think she just wants to pick up this tower kill. And for the most part, for me, I'm able to pick up a pickaxe, and that's going to make me really, really strong against her in the laning phase. And again, I'm just going to continue shoving out that lane as much as possible. So I did grab that blue buff from killing out the Veigar, and that's going to be really useful. So I'm going to head up to the lane, and let's speed it up once again. And really for Jayce, I just like to farm as much as possible until I can get my Infinity Edge. That's going to be your main goal is to get Infinity Edge as fast as possible on Jayce. Jayce is not much of a, he doesn't require attack speed as much as other champions, so once you grab an Infinity Edge, you actually are like really strong for the rest of the game, just from that particular thing there. Looks like bottom area, they were doing some fighting at the dragon, and I was like, okay, whatever. Irelia actually headed down there, and she's gonna pick up a kill onto the Scion. But since she left the top lane, I'm gonna be able to easily take that out. One cool thing you can do on Jayce is hit your W and then switch to your melee form, and then you'll attack really fast and do a lot of damage with that melee form. So I'm able to kill these minions out very quickly and take out the turret and head back. And I think I should have enough money very soon to. No, not really. I thought I did, but I guess I'm just going to continue farming here. So I'm looking for an opportunity around the map to try and kill out anyone I can. I see Vigar there. Obviously, he kind of saw me coming, and so I just shot him in the face with one of my EQ combos. And, you know, that was obviously because that ward was there. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit him, head back to the lane. I didn't really lose a lot of creeps here, but you notice what I did there was I shoved out my lane. I didn't have a lot of reason to stay there, and there was no reason for me to go back to base. So what I did was I looked for opportunities in other lanes. And as a top laner, that's kind of the big thing, is you always, I mean, you're kind of far away from the action in top lane, but at the same time, any chance you get to look for action, you want to go do your best. Okay, so at this point in the game, this is, let me kind of pause this. This is, I can turn on chat possibly and show you guys, well, I guess, oh yeah, that's forgot. Okay, with LOL replay, you can't see chat, but I'll go ahead and fill you guys in. At this point in the game, Scion is kind of mad at Xin Zhao for taking a blue buff or something and for killing a few creeps in his lane, so he decided he's going to AFK. So at this point in the game, it turns into a 4v5, and a lot of people will probably give up. I don't ever give up in ranked games, and I do my best to win in every situation. I actually won a 3v5 with Jayce the other day because of a mid lane AFKing. I don't know what it is with people who play mid lane and want an AFK, but I always seem to be they always seem to be like the biggest trolls. Anyways, so here we go. I'm just gonna do my best to, like I said, stay in this game. I'm not like extremely fed. Our Corki's doing quite well, and we definitely have a chance of winning this game if we do well. I mean, we got Xin Zhao. They have obviously a Vigar who is getting a few kills, but if we can play it correctly, we can do okay. We've got a great late game, whereas Evelyn, she does fall off late game, especially with this build. Wriggles is not the best build on Evelyn, and looks like he will actually get a kill onto this lane here. He grabs that one, but not before he picks it up himself. And you'll notice me, I'm just kind of chilling in the mid lane. Now that the Scion has gone AFK, I'm going to go ahead and do my best to take out this mid turret, since I've already taken out mine. And I don't know, that's really all you can do, is you kind of make do with a bad situation. So I'm going to head up and do some damage to this turret. You can see I'm standing here, I'm actually typing to him right now, and I think I was trying to tell him to come back and play the game, because it's not that big of a deal. And basically what I try to do is I diffuse the situation. I never talk shit to other players because it causes them to troll and play less effectively. And that's really all it comes down to, is just, I don't know, trying to defuse the situation. I said, hey man, don't troll the whole team just because you're mad at one person, blah, blah, blah. It didn't really help him out that much. He still decided to troll us. But anyways, I was able to pick up that turret there, and I'm continuing to farm. I've got almost enough money. I think it looks like pretty close to enough to pick up my Infinity Edge. So I'm just going to continue farming out as many creeps as possible. Let's go ahead and speed it up, and that way we can wait for some action to happen. Looks like Corki came up top to pick up that farm as well. And I'm just going to, there we go. Looks like I might actually run into an Evelyn. So I guess I didn't even see her there. So yeah, they're pinging me. So yeah, I didn't even see Evelyn, but she saw me. That is a scary thing about Eve, is she can see you right outside of your vision range of being able to pay attention to her. And I'm gonna play it really safe. And I know that Vigar can jump on me and stun me and do a crap load of damage, especially if he's comboed with the rest of his team. So you always want to stay back as much as possible. And that's the cool thing about Jayce, is you can actually poke from really far away. I'm able to hit that Vigar from literally across the river and be completely safe doing so. I'm almost out of mana here, so there's not much I can do. Once you run out of mana on Jayce, it's hard for you to actually protect the lane against multiple enemies. But any chance you get, you want to use your EQ combo to kill his back wave and to you know, keep the creeps at bay from getting to your turret. At this point though, I'm just gonna sit here, and you know, that's all I can really do is farm it up. Looks like the enemy team is gonna be going for the enemy dragon, or sorry, for our dragon. We don't actually have vision of it, so there's not really any chance we can stop it. So I'm just going to continue pushing out this mid. Like I said, you do anything that you can in the situation.
Red team has slain.
So there it is. They picked up, looks like their second dragon, I believe. And now the... oh, okay. I thought Tarek was about to get caught. I know a little bit later Tarek gets in a bad situation. He's kind of one of the guys who gets caught in bad situations the whole game. So like I said, this is the 1600 elo. It's people not the best players. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes being made. So there's a lot of stuff that could be improved, and oh man, this is gonna be really bad. Corky gets really low, but not really enough damage from that guy to kill him yet. Now I actually tried to knock back that guy into the turret, but I hit a creep instead. I was still able to kill him though with auto attacks. That's not a big deal. I do a lot of damage right now, and I haven't even built up my Infinity Edge. You'll notice I've got a ton of gold. I've actually got 3,300 gold right now built up, and I noticed that the creeps are pushing up to the turret. I think right now with him flashing in, that's an easy kill for me, so I'm going to go ahead, clean up this Irelia, and then go straight for the Vigar. I waited for that stun to go down. I'm going to knock him right into the wall. Boom, he can't move for a little bit, and I put down the Ignite. That's an easy little cleanup for me, and then I'm going to auto attack the Graves down. It looks like Sion finally came back for a stun, helped me out, and got me a triple kill, and I'm going to be able to shove out this lane no problem. So I'm just going to attack down these creeps, and that worked out really well for me. I got several kills. I'm now up to 5 from that little dive from Irelia, so it was a pretty big mistake on her part to flash in and dive past, because it costs their team a lot of kills. And now it looks like I'm actually going to get dove onto here by this Evelyn. I'm going to knock her back so she takes a few tower hits, and I'm going to try and do my best to kind of kite her around, and then to use my Q and W to make her take a little bit extra damage, and that's 1 extra kill for me. Yes, he did take my killing spree, but overall, I was left with 4,700 gold after that little engage, and I'm able to finish up my Infinity Edge and get, I think, possibly, let's see, do I have enough? Yeah, I also have enough for my Phage, and that is always what I buy as my secondary item is a Phage. Even if I don't finish up the Trinity next, the Phage is nice to try and get that slow proc off. And again, you don't really have to have a ton of move or attack speed on Jayce to be really effective. You just need to have that big damage. Attack speed is definitely useful, but he's more of a caster AD than a just auto attack AD. He doesn't have a lot of steroid other than just pushing W and getting an automatic maximum attack speed increase. So you really want more like cooldown reduction and attack damage from him, and that's pretty strong. But if you do build him attack speed, he's gonna be able to wreck as well. It's just that his range is not as long. You can really leave that up to your AD carry if they're doing well, and in this case our Corky's doing a pretty good job, so I'm just gonna build into a Trinity Force, and that gives me the best of both worlds. So let me speed the game up a bit here and wait for some more action to happen. Pretty good position right now. I can't click on myself, move too fast. Okay, it's too fast, I can't click. So anyways, what I'm doing right now is I'm just farming it up at this point. Looks like they finally were able to take out our mid turret. There's a little bit of action happening here over in the right area. Looks like our Sion is kind of trolling around. He ran up and died. I forced out a flash from that guy right there as I jumped onto him, and he knew that I could have done a ton of damage to him. So that's good. At least I got a little bit of a flash. The Sion unfortunately did die, and it caused Tarek to die too, because Tarek just kind of runs into random bad situations. As a support, you don't always want to run up like that. It's not the best idea, especially when you know that you have a troll on your team that's going to run around and get themselves killed like that. In this particular case, we're saying, okay, they're definitely going to go for Baron, and I shot over my Q. You don't ever want to just run straight into a bush. Since you have vision whenever you shoot your Q, if you can line up a Q and shoot it into a straight area, into a bush, you'll have an idea of if they're in there or not. Now, I'm doing my best right now to try and get over there and stop this Baron, but if I run straight in, it's going to be a bad situation. This Irelia keeps making bad decisions. She's kind of like our Tarek. She just runs in and messes things up. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there and stop that in time, but I am able to pick up 2 kills on both Irelia and onto the Evelyn. So we stopped 2 of them from getting the kills. Looks like I'm not able to clean up the Vigar. I thought I'd be able to hit him one more time with my E, but I got triple killed by the Graves. So that is a little bit unfortunate. Overall, though, only 2 of them have the Baron buff, so it's, I guess, the best that we could have done with the situation at hand. And let's go ahead and move on to speed it up. Speed it up. Oh, I'm still dead, so I'm dead for another couple seconds. And we got Tarek just farming up here. And there we go. I actually picked up a Quicksilver Sash. That way I can get out of Vigar's stun and do as much damage as possible in team fights. I'm not really as worried about getting caught and dying. I'm more worried about just outputting as much damage as I can because they're all pretty squishy and I'm able to do a ton of damage. Now, as you just saw there, that Scion got caught once again and died. So he's just continuing to troll. Not only is he kind of talking shit and it's bouting the whole time, now he's decided to come out and do a bunch of crazy stuff. Now, everyone kind of started a fight here when I was not really around, so that's kind of unfortunate. I did pick up a kill onto the Irelia and I had to flash out of there because I'm the only one alive at this point. Picked up a double kill by killing that Graves, but I have to stay safe here. If I try and engage here, I could possibly get stunned by the Vigar, and I think my Quicksilver might be up, so I don't know. It might have been a good idea for me to go in there because I could have easily gotten out of that Vigar stun. I'm pretty sure his ultimate is down too, so I don't know. I could have been a little bit more aggressive there, but I was a bit afraid of dying, so sometimes you got to make those decisions, and in that case, I just wasn't really sure. You know, it's not always a good idea to run in and try and defend a turret if you're the only one there, because then you end up just dying and they get the turret anyways. And that was kind of my mindset behind that. Anyways, let's speed this sucker back up and see when the next team fight happens. Right now, I am looking at the score, and it's pretty damn close considering the fact that they have Baron 2 dragons on us, and we've basically had an AFK for the most part. And here I was like talking in chat, completely not paying attention, and I ran in to kill some creeps and didn't even pay attention to the fact that they had a Vagar, and I just kind of walked up and gave him a free kill there. So that was really stupid on my part. Sometimes you gotta stop paying attention to chat and just play the game. In this case here, they decided to actually engage on this 4v, or like 3v5, I guess. I don't know who the last person is. So everyone's just dying. This is looking pretty bad for us. I don't, you know, you're kind of thinking right now, unless things start to turn around, it's going to be hard to win. But I still know that we can win the game. I mean, we are really strong, and I'm able to take these guys out like really quickly. This turret is just really bad, so that's not helping our cause at all. But once I get up and we all group up, we can definitely win the fights that we go into. It's just that in the last, I think, 3 or 4 engages, we literally have not had a team fight because someone has gotten caught and died. But the thing is that if we were actually all together in a team fight, we would win so easy because we're shutting them down even whenever we're not all grouped. And that's kind of the thing about some of these matches is people kind of tend to roam off on their own, get caught, and then the rest of the team for some reason decides to go engage and then they lose. And that's the biggest problem. If you can just group up and do one big fight, a lot of times you're going to be able to win if you know how to out micro the enemy, and especially if you're kind of fairly even or have a better team comp. There's a lot of things that factor into it, obviously, but you know, get the correct engage onto your enemies, learn to kite, learn to use your team comp, whatever the case is, and you'll be fine. For me, it's all about sitting in the back and shooting out my EQ combo and waiting for the right moment to jump in onto someone squishy. I like to kind of stay in the back because it's a lot safer. And what I'll do is I'll try and use up all my cooldowns from my cannon form with my EQ combo. I don't use my W until I'm ready to jump in with melee form, or until someone is way far in the back, like a tank is way far in the back. And then I'll push W, count them down a few times, and then I can jump in melee. But I don't like to jump in melee like in the middle of all 5 people, because then you're just going to get yourself killed and you're not going to be as effective. Jayce has really low cooldown, so if you can stand in the back, auto attack some guys down as much as possible, use like 2 or 3 EQ combos, and then jump in with your W, and then switch to melee, and then do some auto attacks, you'll be able to wreck the hell out of anyone who stays up close and gets in range of you. And you kind of seen that from some of these team fights. I was able to jump in and just push 2 buttons and completely kill them with my QE. So it's just one thing that's just really awesome about Jayce. Now what we're doing right here is we actually know that someone's gonna jump in here. We don't actually have vision, I don't think. So we don't actually have vision. And let me jump back. I wanted to kind of show this part because this is a good part. So I saw Graves at some point. I know that he was here. See, okay, so Graves is right there farming. And I know he's gonna continue farming and pushing towards the turret. So what we do is we actually sit in this bush, and I know he's gonna either come around here to look for these small golems, or he's going to continue pushing once the creeps get there. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting here, and luckily Tarek is doing the same thing. He's smart enough, at least in this case, to hang out with me, and we're going to get a nice free kill here. So check it out. Here comes the creeps and Graves. Boop. And I just wait for it, jump onto him, and do all the damage. I had to flash. Unfortunately, I missed my full damage combo, so I had to flash to get that kill. But either way, that is a free little kill for us.
We did get a little surrender vote going. I always decline surrender votes in ranked games because I've had crazy comebacks. Tons of times I've had crazy comebacks. Looks like Evelyn got stunned. She was trying to go in onto the stair. I'm going to do as much damage as possible, taking down Irelia as low as I can while she's on the run. I did miss my EQ, so that's not good. Looking for an opportunity to jump on someone, but I didn't really show up, so I'm just going to hang out and do my best to kill out these creeps so they're not able to do any damage to our turrets. Looks like Sion is hanging out in the mid. He could be in a dangerous situation there. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can see the enemy team is kind of roaming around there in the back, and I don't actually have vision of this. I'm just doing my best to hang out and stop these guys. So I'm shooting out my EQ to look for people up there in the jungle area and see where they're at. And that's really all I care about right now, is just pushing back these creeps and holding them off until everybody groups up. Unfortunately, Sion is not grouping up. If he did group up right now, we could easily, try and go for an engage. Irelia is not full health. They didn't even have Graves with them, so if we had started that fight, we would have easily gotten everyone dead. So looks like this guy got completely shut down. He kind of ran in by himself before Viger was able to get there. Irelia flashes out and gets the safety. We're able to get a double kill onto Xin Zhao, and now Evelyn falls, and I was able to pick that one up. So really bad engage. You can see that this enemy team is making tons of mistakes, and if we wanted to win, it would be very simple right now. But this whole time, the Sion or whatever has just been completely trolling it and making it very difficult for us to win. So, I mean, that's just part of solo queue. It happens a lot. Sometimes it happens when it's the enemy team, and I don't really call it. I can't really say, oh, I would win more solo queue games if I didn't have trolls. No, that's not true, because I win a lot of solo queues because of trolls. Like, I win against trolls. So if that's your excuse of not winning Elo, then you're just making excuses, and that's all there is to it. It's always someone else's fault in a lot of people's cases, and for me, it's all about learning from mistakes. And a lot of times I make shitloads of mistakes in games, and my goal is to just play a lot and do my best to avoid making those mistakes while learning to, just have better mechanical skills. This game is actually very easy. There's not a lot to it. I mean, there's, from a strategy standpoint, a lot to it, but you only have like 4 different buttons you have to push. So it all comes down to just mechanical skills and making decisions on the fly. You have to know when to go in, when to go out, how to micro, properly, and that's really what this game comes down to. Now, unfortunately, they were able to grab that Baron, and our team decided to actually engage for no random reason. I don't know, it was kind of stupid. This is pretty much the most idiotic thing that could have possibly happened. I just kind of run in the back, try and do as much damage as possible, but at this point, there's not much we can do, and I know I can't get away. I don't have my flash up from that earlier fight. I do get stunned, and I use my Quicksilver to get out of there. I get a kill, but it doesn't really matter at this point. My team actually 4-0 surrenders. I'm the only one that says no. There's nothing I can do about it. Even if I had said, even if we had all said no, they might have actually killed our Nexus anyway. So, anyways, I thought you guys would like to see some Jayce commentary. I'll probably do some more in the future, showing some other gameplay of him against different people, since I really like Jayce and I think he's a strong champion. But I just wanted you guys to see how I kind of react against trolls, and still try my hardest to win games, even if stuff is not really working out. So, anyways, that's it for now. Peace out, guys.
Subscribe to my channel, or I will not share any of this yummy pineapple with you.